Corporate governance is the internal means by which corporations are operated and controlled. And this involves a set of relationships between a company's management, its boards, its shareholders, and other stakeholders. Corporate governance also provides the structures through which the objectives of the company are set and the means of attaining those objectives and monitoring performance. Corporate governance is also concerned with holding the balance between economic and social goals and between individual and community goals, with the aim of aligning to the extent possible the interests of individuals, corporations, and society. It is important when you think about a company to relate it to an artificial incapacitated person, and therefore the affairs of the corporation are actually run and determined by its officers and managers and the directors on the board. Therefore, corporate governance provides, simply stated, the means by which corporations can be operated and controlled. According to the King Report, there are 4 fundamental pillars of good corporate governance. Firstly, transparency. And this is simply stated the ease with which an outsider is able to make meaningful analysis of an organization's actions. Secondly, we have accountability, which is the obligation to report on one's activities to a set of legitimate authorities. Closely linked to this is the third pillar, which is responsibility. And this involves being in control, being answerable and accountable and liable for one's actions or omissions. You will notice that within a company that there are several lines of accountability and responsibility. So for instance, line management will be responsible to the leadership of the company, which is operationally run by the chief executive, who in turn would be accountable to the board of directors, and the board would be accountable to the share owners. Lastly, we have fairness, and this involves acknowledging and respecting the rights of various groups that have an interest in the organization and its future, or who are impacted upon by the activities of that organization. The corporate governance environment within a company also affects how the corporation aligns its activities and behavior with the expectation that the organization will operate in a safe and sound manner and in compliance with its enabling environment and applicable laws and regulations. The internal system of corporate governance depends on the role and functioning of 3 main actors. Firstly, the shareholders, the board, and then management. Corporate governance is effective in curbing the supply side of corruption. When corporate governance is practiced, it is more difficult for the company to pay bribes, practice nepotism, indulge in illegal campaign financing, or other forms of corruption.